you know who we are and who don't really know about us. LLoyds TSB Foundation for Scotland, first of all, is not the bank, so please don't think we are. We have sacks of money, because we don't. We're a grant making trust which was established by the bank almost 30 years ago, but we are independent. We do have experience in the overseas grant making world. We did run our own overseas programme from 2001 to 2009, where we gave away around £3 million during that period, again supporting Scottish organisations working closely in partnership with NGOs overseas in developing countries. Unfortunately, our own financial position meant that we had to put that on the back burner for the time being in 2010. So we were delighted when we saw this invitation to tender come from the Scottish Government, and we were really pleased to be able to be back in the frame again and being involved with people who are doing such fantastic work overseas. So I'm really delighted about that. I'm Connie Williamson, in case I didn't already introduce myself. I'm an assessor with LLoyds TSB Foundation for Scotland, and Debbie Caney is my colleague who's also an assessor. So between us we will be really taking care of this programme. Any other people in our office will be able to help you out if you did make contact with us. We're delighted to be here. I'm not going to go into any great detail about the slide here, really because David really spoke about that, how it all came about and so on. But needless to say that we are really pleased with this small grants programme, because I think it is so important for these small organisations that are working very, very hard. Yes.
You've got a lovely voice, but I'm really battling to hear you.
Right, you can use the microphone if you want.
Yes,
I can't
please.
speak any louder.
Thank you very much.
Is that better? I'm not going to sing it, so okay. Yes, so I'm not going to talk in great detail about the grant programme as such, because we'll do that through every day. This is really about the criteria that we're talking about. So to be eligible, I need to have my notes in front of me as well, so it's going to be a bit of a juggling act here. Okay, so the main aspect of the criteria for your organisation to be eligible to apply is that you must be a not-for-profit organisation and you must be a legal person. Now, this terminology is really about an organisation that is constituted, is incorporated, and that means it's able to enter into a legal contract, and that's why the government has put this stipulation in the criteria. Now, I know that caused quite a few people's attention, because you may be registered charities, but you may not be incorporated. So you may not be a company, or you may not be a Scottish charitable incorporated company, organisation rather, it's a scheme. So that's one of the two routes you have to take. The government is, though, allowing people to apply to become a scheme or to become a company limited by guarantee, as long as they can do that in time for the 1st of March. So you can still submit an application by the 29th of November, as long as you are planning to become incorporated by the 1st of March. Okay, I'll now go over the other aspects of the criteria, which are maybe going to be a bit lighter. So you need to have a presence in Scotland, so I think we all realise that when we talk about Scottish organisations. Your turnover must be under £150,000 in the last 2 years. Now that's because this is aimed at small organisations. So we will look at your accounts in the last 2 years, as long as your expenditures have peaked over 150,000, we'd be happy to look at the application. And as this gentleman pointed out, yes, you have to be in operation for at least 12 months, and you need to be able to give us some set of accounts that have been audited or externally examined during that period. So as regards the application, and the criteria you need for that, it's obviously the 7 priority countries, which I know that you'll all be aware of. So I hope they're in line with the Scottish Government's main IDF programme. And there's the 8 themes as well: education, health, sustainable economic development, civic governance and society, food security, renewable energy, climate change and water. So any application has to have a focus on one of these areas at least. Underrepresented groups. The government has noticed through their main programme they haven't had as many applications as they would like to around civic governance. So that's an area they would be interested in seeing applications for. for, and also from diaspora. We're really keen for people who are over here but know like the work is on the ground to be part of it because applying to us as well. So although there's no priority for these organisations, we would welcome applications from these groups. And again, the Millennium Development Goals, I think that goes without saying, that the government is very committed to seeing through these Millennium Goals and reaching the targets that we've set. So we would ask you in your application to let us know which of the goals you're particularly interested in looking towards developing. Now, though you need to be a Scottish organisation to apply to us, you need to be working with an NGO or a community agency overseas. And we will ask you for that on the application form. So that's really important that we're not having people from this country just parachuting in and doing some work without really working with people on the ground to develop their capacity to move forward. We need to see a clear project there, so a work plan is really important, that you've maybe already had a couple of pages of a project and been able to space it out and show exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and who you're going to do it with. And we'll ask you to transfer that onto the application form to let us see that. Realistic budgets are really important, so we don't want to see any wish lists or anything like that. Please be realistic about the costs involved, and there's a section in the application which details that, and the guidance notes go along with that also, just to let us see what we're looking for. And evidence of plans for launching evaluation and learning. Again, I think you probably are all aware of this. It's really important that you are monitoring and evaluating what you're doing to make sure you're doing what you said you're going to do and you will achieve the outcome, the change that you hope to affect at the end. And likewise, the learning from that, we really need to make sure you're gathering information so that we can learn. And that may be good and bad, and that's perfectly okay. That's all part of learning, isn't it? And it's good if you can also show us how that learning will be shared, and so other people can use that learning as well. So, what will we support? Well, I think we know, I'm not going to talk about companies that aren't incorporated, because we know we can't support them. We can't support capital appeals. This isn't about building a hospital or a school or anything like that. Capital costs should be a very small part of the main project. We appreciate you may need some equipment or something like that, and that's fine. But this is really about a project, and we want to see how that's going to be sustained, so that's important. This programme won't support core activity or ongoing work that's just more of the same. It needs to either be a new project, or it needs to be a project you've already worked on, but you're now developing that and delivering it somewhere else, or expanding it, or taking on new people to deliver it in a different way. It won't fund the transportation of goods, so it wouldn't fund the shipment of a Portugal from clothes or something over to Malawi. That's not what this is about. We're very interested in using in-country resources for all parts of the project, if at all possible. And finally, we wouldn't want to fund any other governments. I think that's fairly straightforward, or government representatives directly.